Welcome back to Retirement News Online. So retirement planning isn't just about how much you save, it's also about when you experience gains and losses. Now, this timing risk is known as sequence of returns risk, and it can dramatically impact how long your retirement savings last. Now, today, we're going to explore how the right financial advisor can help clients guard against this hidden risk. And joining me is that advisor, Chris Heckadon, managing partner of Summit Pointe Financial in Lee Summit, Missouri, right outside of Kansas City. And so how do you explain sequence of returns risk to clients? Because this is something they're typically not familiar with. It's just about timing, right? How do you have that conversation?
Yes, it is, Scott. Most clients, when they do retirement planning, they make a general assumption of, I'm going to earn 8% a year throughout retirement. And they assume it's a linear return of 8% every year. Well, the market doesn't work that way. And it's all about a couple items. When you retire, how you retire, whether you have enough money or not, or you're close to your goal or you're well past your goal. But it all comes down to each year in the market, what those returns are, and that going forward.
Yeah, so somebody, you could have two people with the same assets, same investments, same returns virtually, but if they end up starting retirement taking income in a down market for 2 or 3 years, the end result can be much different than somebody who had that happen toward the end of their retirement. So what strategies do you actually use? So you have to, in one sense, to take timing out of the market, so we can't really necessarily use stocks, but how do you protect somebody and still provide growth for this sometimes 20, 30, maybe even 40 years in retirement?
Mm-hmm. Well, every situation is different, so you have to look at the client, whether they're single or married, and you look at any direct income sources that they may have, whether it be Social Security, pensions, and so forth, and then you look at the buckets of where their money is located, and our goal is to determine a number, right? What are they going to need on a monthly basis to retire on or to live, and then build in inflation, and then from there, begins the drawdown, right? Because there's no more working income coming in, so now it's about pulling those assets down, and when it comes to sequence of returns, you have to look at a simple situation of, okay, if the market is bad one year, maybe we're not pulling as much money from their more aggressive portfolio. Maybe those distributions are being redirected from another source just to offset that.
And you have to build a certain amount of flexibility into this planning, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's big, major.
Because the market, for example, I think at the time of this, I guess we look back to April when the market down 3,000 points at the opening bell. Mm-hmm. And you've got people, somebody taking retirement income at that point may just knee-jerk immediately and pull themselves out. How do you handle the emotional side of this? Because income is very emotional, right? I got to make sure I have enough.
Absolutely.
How do you take emotion out of the planning for them?
Yeah, from our firm's perspective, we work in a team of advisors with every set of clients. So it's some clients are specifically driven to have those conversations, but I also think it's important to remind the client, give them comfort that everything we hear and see on TV, media, stuff like that it's what we refer to as noise. And if you can block out the noise and just pay attention to the end game goal, we're on the same team, and just help them realize that and ease their emotions, and then make sure they understand that they're going to be okay, even with a 4 to 6 week market downturn, something like that.
And I think you probably see a lot of people when they start working with you, they think they're diversified. There's this idea, I think I would call it maybe naive diversification, where they have mutual funds, they have ETFs, they have IRAs, and then you look under the hood and these are all the same stocks, and they're all correlated, and when the market goes down, they go down, and when it goes up, they go up. So that must be an eye-opener for some of them when you start talking to them.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing, and some folks think that when they retire and they have, their biggest nest egg at that point, which is probably replace their residence, right, is their 401k or qualified plan at work, and they think that well, because I own 10 different positions in there, I'm highly diversified. Well, unfortunately, that's all qualified money. It's all taxable, right? Unless there's some Roth provisions in there. But we really enjoy the opportunity to work with folks and really promote prospects or clients to begin working 10 years, 15 years, obviously as soon as you begin earning an income, but work with an advisor so they can help you diversify your portfolio properly, whether it be in the taxable bucket, the tax deferred bucket, or the tax free bucket. And in each side of those buckets, there are components that can be used, whether it's cash value, permanent insurance that can be pulled out on tax favored basis, right? Or it's using an annuity when necessary or pertinent. It's, looking at all those direct income sources. So you just have to be careful. There's just a lot of moving parts when it comes to retiring.
Yes,
and you only get one chance.
That's true.
To do it the right way.
Thank God you're here, Chris.
Yes.
He is Chris Heckadon in Lee's Summit, Missouri, and thanks for watching Retirement News Online.